Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio, everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And today we're going to be going on to the next extra stage that has dropped today. Of course, we had two extra stages dropped today. One was the Nightmare stage, and the next one is the Entrusted Spirit stage, which is the one we're going to be challenging right now in this video. If you want to check out the previous one, I dropped the video for that a couple of hours ago now. But this stage is the level 140 stage. It is the hardest stage available in the game right now, of course, so this is not going to be easy whatsoever. And you know, I always say I will try and get an S clear, but I'm not gonna lie, there's a reason why everything is so staticky on your screens right now, and also why I'm in the bottom left. I've already done this stage. I'm not gonna show you guys the clear right now because I want it to be kind of like a surprise as to showing you guys exactly how it went, the run, right? And I don't want to tease you guys in terms of like, did I get an S clear or a B clear? But I'm going to nonetheless. You know what, I'm gonna get you guys to go all the way to the end of the video, and even if it means you're gonna skip to the end of the video, I don't care. You're gonna at least watch some of this video, all right? But yeah, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi and Danmachi Memoria Freese content, and leave a comment down below letting me know how did you guys fare in this extra stage. Was it harder than you know, the previous extra stages we've had in the past, you know, the Grand War ones, or you know, the 5th anniversary ones? Let me know how you guys found this stage. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below in the comments. Now, what I'm gonna do is, this is a post commentary. I will say that this is a post commentary. Unfortunately, I tried recording this video a couple of times, in all honesty, actually like doing live commentary and stuff, but frankly speaking, it took way too much out of me. I could not sustain doing that again and again because I had to go through numerous attempts. This is the team that I'm using right now in order to get my, well, clear attempt. In all honesty, I'm not going to specify if it was an S clear or B clear. Some of you guys will already know what this team will indicate, but I had to use this team in order to get at least a clear. I ended up using this team because it was the best option I could have. In all honesty, I had to take a lot of defensive assists. I took units that reduce damage, right? The Freya is a damage reduction unit from AoE attacks. I had to take Hestia, who reduces STR and magic. I had to take I don't remember your name, cat lady, but I know she's from the Another Eden collaboration, who gives P-Res. I had obviously some better options that I could have probably taken, P-Res up and M-Res up, right, in the form of Hephaestus from the 4th anniversary, I think it was, and a couple of other options because, of course, this stage, you're going up against both Alfia and Zard at the same time. So one unit deals physical attacks, and one unit deals, or one enemy, I should say, deals magic attacks. So you're getting a two-pronged attack from this side. It's one of the reasons why, you know, I had to take in Freya as well, because AoE attacks, and also obviously Galmus is there to obviously help with damage reduction. But like, there are things in this stage that kind of invalidate that, and we'll go over that in just a moment. But yeah, this was a very tricky stage. It was an honest to god, very tricky stage. The video length of this video is about 15 minutes. I used breastplates, by the way, to give you guys an idea on what equipments I used breastplates on everybody except Galmus and Haruhime, who have both got revolving anklets. So that is also something to take into account. Now in this run, actually, you know, I will say one thing is that you could go without using sacrificial units, right? Because the thing is, right, both Zard and Alfia will remove your buffs at a point. Now, of course, if you debuff the enemy, they stick around, right? They will stick around. That's not something you should worry too much about. They don't remove their debuffs as far as I noticed, and trust me when I say this, I noticed because I spent a lot of time on this stage. But I don't think they remove their own debuffs, but they do remove their buffs on certain turns. So it became a little bit tricky in that regards, in regards to taking sacrificial units in the first place, right? You could rather just take, you know, Haruhime in the front slot, the backline Haruhime, the light Haruhime, right? You could put her in the first slot and then just run with a 4-man squad and just go all out guns blazing as much as possible, right? So yeah, that is something you can do and something you should probably consider doing. Now the thing is, right, of course I'm setting up everything here and you guys can see that I'm working on everything. I attack them. I don't know when I show the resistances and stuff. I think I show them later on in the video, or maybe it's because it's my numerous attempts made me forget like who made me forget to actually check the statuses and stuff. So just to give you guys an idea, I'll put it on the screens right now if I can. I'll take a screenshot when I get the opportunity to, and put it on the edit of this screen so you can see both Zard and Alfia's resistances and stuff. But to give you guys an idea, basically Zard has effectively a lot of physical resistance effectively, whereas Alfia has a lot of magic resistance. On the other hand, Zard has, I think if I'm not mistaken, I can't see it right now because I'm obviously looking at the video recording right now, which doesn't have anything on my screen right now. I'll let it run in the meantime, but right now I'm just setting up my moves. But Zard, I think, has minus earth res, and Alfia has well, no, sorry, I think Zard has minus fire res and Alfia has minus earth res. So you're gonna need two basically double elements effectively to deal as much as possible. You need to run sort of like a hybrid team, and that's also something that leads to an issue. Is like you're trying to run a effectively bastardized version of like of some form of team, and there's not many assists that even give like fire and earth damage up at the same time. There is one Memoria that actually does that, but in terms of, you know, assists and stuff, it's very, very rare. Not to mention just having to take a physical and magic unit at the same time. That's already a struggle in itself. So the compositions for these for this specific extra stage is actually ridiculous, and I don't think a lot of people will be getting an S clear, in all honesty. It is extremely difficult. And this, okay, so turn 4, whenever Zard does that move, right, that's when you should notice your buffs have gone away. Basically, you do not have any more buffs any longer. So take that into account and be careful, because in moments like these, right, thankfully I had Starlink up, right? I could use Starlink after Alfia attacked, but you know, Alfia will immediately special arts in the next turn as well. And of course, if Zard is removing all your buffs, you basically run into an issue where, well, you know, you're gonna be completely open. You have no, you know, physical or MRes buffs, you have no damage reduction buffs, no nothing. So you're gonna take a lot of damage. Thankfully, of course, Starlink from Ryu helps us, you know, protect ourselves a little bit there. So now I'm reapplying everybody's buffs and stuff, and this is where it just gets a lot trickier, you know. It's just a lot of like patience and you know, just trying to remember what you've done. It's not easy. You're gonna have to be very, very patient with this run. It's a process in itself, in all honesty. I think that's the best way to put it. I can't really say it in words. Now, of course, as you can see, Haruhime gets taunted because Zard, and of course we didn't get inflicted by it at the start of the fight because we obviously were taking Seer, who gives physical res and magic res down along with null ailments. The reason why I had that Seer, and that was a mistake on my end, I'm not gonna lie, is because I was running a hybrid team initially, and then I switched to the full magic team. I probably should have taken a magic res assist, but in the end it kind of helped me out because Zard only taunted Haruhime, who didn't have any null ailments, of course. You could run taunt anklets. Actually, that's also an idea as well, is that you could run taunt glorious anklets as well, right, instead of breastplates. But I ran breastplates to just get that extra bit of protection from, you know, getting an endurance up and god rate up and all of that jazz. Just helps protect the team a little bit more. So yeah, that you could run taunt anklets. I think that's also a fair shout, but in my personal opinion, I would say the breastplates are a little bit better. So here I'm just thinking about what to do, in all honesty. A lot of it was just thinking about what to do and how to process things. Now, of course, as you guys can see, my special arts counter is going up and up and up, in all honesty. And this was where I was a little bit like, should I special arts with Haruhime? At this point, I was still like trying to judge exactly what I wanted to do, because this is probably the furthest I've ever gotten into, you know, the record, into the stage, in all honesty. Well, it was one of the few times I've actually gotten to this stage in the extra stage, because previously I would just die by turn 5 because of the deep buff removals, or I die on turn 6 because I, you know, wasn't paying attention and one of the buffs ran out or something along those lines, and became a bit of a problem. So I ended up just applying the buffs and everything, and I went for it because, of course, at this point I was just like, you know what, sort it, I need to try and at least get Zard off the field. Now, of course, as you can see, Zard's HP goes away really fast because, of course, he doesn't take a lot of damage. He doesn't resist magic attacks a lot, I should say. He takes a lot of damage from magic attacks. Alfia, on the other hand, as you can see, I mean, you guys can't see that much, is taking no damage whatsoever, as you can see by that. Now, as you may have noticed, that ability that Alfia does, where it's just like all the wind coming across your screen and stuff, removes your buffs. So Alfia also removes all your buffs. Now again, like I said, at least they don't remove their own debuffs, which kind of helps out a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things, you're still having to reapply your buffs. You're still having to make sure everything is fine and dandy. What you can do, in my personal opinion, and an option you guys can have, is use your sacrificial units to potentially reduce the opponent's STR and magic, or something along those lines, basically to try and help you protect yourself a lot more. It's something that I didn't do, and it may have hurt me in the long run, but again, that's something something I couldn't really risk right now, and I was just like, the main aim is to just get a clear and make a recording out of this and talk to you guys about it. And the reason why I want you guys to watch the entirety of this video, you could skip to the end of this video when I clear the stage and everything, but the reason why I want you to sit through this is because you guys can see what my mindset is. You can see where I can improve already, right? This is sort of like, how can I improve my run, and how you can start your run better than I did personally, right? Because yeah, like I said, I think at this point my brain was completely fried, and I had no idea where to go, what to do, and how to go about things. In all honesty, I was just struggling entirely. And not to mention, the most annoying part is these two units add nullifications, which is so freaking annoying. Again, these are probably the most annoying bosses I faced in Danmachi. I do think obviously the Juggernaut was extremely difficult, and all the final trials against Astraeus, I expect the Amphisbaena next week to be just as annoying, but the final trials were just extremely powerful. They just hit extremely hard, whereas in this case it was just annoying as hell. They would do everything in your power to effectively halt you, and that's what kind of, you know, irritates you when you're going into this sort of an event. In one way it's extremely challenging, and in a way it's fun, but yeah, it is a problem. And I can already tell you that this stage requires you to clear it within 12 turns, and based on Alfia's HP, we've missed that opportunity. So at least we're getting an A clear, right? That's the main idea. And at this point, I was just like, you know what, sod it. I'm getting an A clear. I'm taking the 100 iris, and I'm hightailing it out of there. You know, I'll take that 100 iris and hightail it out of there. And that's the idea. At this point, right, it's like I said in the previous video, don't try and play games with the game. You don't need to go for the S rank. Do not risk the S rank. Just get the 100 iris and get the hell out of there. You don't have to, you know, act smart and smug that you got an S clear when you may not be spending on the game or anything of that sort. Don't try that. You're just wasting your time. You're going to be extremely stressed out. You're not going to have fun with the game. Just get the S clear, hightail it out of there. Even if it takes you 100 turns, 500 turns, so be it. just get the clear and hightail it out of there. So yeah, now that Zard is down, right, on turn 12, we went for the offense, and then of course she removed our buffs again. So this was a recurring theme. The rest of the fight is pretty much just this all over again and again and again and again and again. It was pretty much just the same old. I actually don't remember how many turns it took me, or I didn't pay attention to how many turns it took me at the end, so I'm very curious to see how long it took us. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit to the front. This is again where, you know, it's pretty much just me doing the same thing again and again. What I also did here was I special arts with Haruhime once, so that we could get the STR and magic up again, and then we can attack with everybody else. This is on turn 15, so again, it's a slow process. The fact that she also nullifies your magic attacks, it doesn't help, man. It does not help whatsoever. And at this point, I was just like, you know what, let me just try and get as much damage as possible. We were chipping away at her. We were truly chipping away at her. She's at half HP now on turn 16. So by this logic, it would be basically turn 32 basically when we would finish it off, because, well, half HP at turn 16, turn 32 is when we would get it done, right? Turn 32 is when we would get it done. So the process was still going on. You can see that I'm just chipping away, and yeah, this is where I actually show the resistances. So let me come back up here, because I actually wanted to see at turn 19 what were the resistances and stuff, and how she was able to just tank so much damage from all these characters, right? Whoops, that's my bad. I don't know if it appeared weird on the screen because I full screened the image. So yeah, you can see right here, Alfia has a 45% physical res down, 25% magic res inherently, and this is reduced, by the way. This is 40% down from, I think it is Elise. At part 3, Elise gives 40% down, 15% down as well from the assists here. It's crazy. And then yeah, of course, Alfia has the minus earth res, Zard has the minus fire res. You can see that there's some inherent resistances. Otherwise, they really wanted to block the light team. You cannot use the light team. The light team, you well, the light team will be able to survive if you give them the right assists, that basically give them a lot of defense, and you don't, do anything until the end of the fight. Basically, you will not get it within 12 turns, but they can clear it. It's just a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. A team that you could go with that is kind of neutral, it does seem like the Thunder team is a option you could go for, where it's very neutral basically, right? Because you can see that the fire res down is down to 0%. Alfia has an inherent fire res and Zard has an inherent earth res, which means that, even if you take a hybrid team, you're kind of getting screwed over. The idea is they want you to use single target units basically in this stage, with the Tarl targeting Alfia and Alize or somebody targeting Zard effectively. That's the idea here. At least that's how I perceive it. I assume if you have like Lazar or something, you could try and do something like that, but it's a very tricky thing and it requires you to, have the right setup and everything, and it's a problem. It's a problem in the long run. You could run a Thunder team that's sort of like a hybridized version, and you could do relatively well, I think, there potentially. But yeah, so there you guys go. I was just looking at the debuffs and stuff, seeing how it works, the time turn count and everything. So now I was just like, all right, let me just go for the offense again, just attack as much as possible. And here I was a little bit concerned. You can see my Hero Festa Alize was in a little bit of a pickle here. So it ended up being a little bit concerned, but we were a-okay there, no issues whatsoever. And we were just going off. We were just at this point just trying to get everything going. Turn 24. I think it actually will be a turn 32 thing. It'll genuinely be a turn 32 thing. One of the reasons why Haruhime wasn't doing damage as well was because of the fact that, well, she's a light unit and magic unit at the same time, both of which Alfia resists. She was gonna do no damage anyway. She's doing 0 damage, as you can see, so that was an issue there. So she strips away the buffs, and this was another concerning point, because Alize got hit extremely hard there. We deal phase edge, get that damage off, and this is where Haruhime dies, and I was absolutely crapping myself. I had 0 idea what to do here. I was just like, well, run's dead, boys, GG's. Because I mean, Haruhime was like holding us together in terms of, extending our buffs, extending Alfia's debuffs, giving us MP heals, all of that jazz. She was doing a lot of things, right? And then I lost her, and I was just like, well, I part of me honestly wanted to just reset. I was like, let me quit, come back in, let me try again. But I persevered. I kept going. I played around with my units. I was buffing them up regularly. I was debuffing her again. I was making sure to effectively keep my buffs up at all times. And obviously, thankfully, Ryu was able to give P-Res and M-Res as well on her second skill, right? Which helps out a lot. But the idea was just to try and survive. It was just like, try and survive any way possible. I used Justice Oath multiple times on Alize just so that I could basically get some magic nulls as well for ourselves, for my own team. And this was where I was really close. I was just like, all right, let's just try and get it done. We are so close. Part of me wanted to do a special arts here. I was thinking about it. This is where I hesitated a little bit, but then I was like, no, I'm just gonna go for the offense. Probably should have gone for the special arts in hindsight now, because she removed all our buffs, but we were still fine. And whenever she removed our buffs, I was very scared, because one critical hit or one penetration and she would do a lot of damage on all of my units. But I made sure to stay calm and I just went for it. I mean, I was dealing 5,000 damage. It wasn't pretty. It was a dogged run. It was a very dogged run, but we got it. We got the clear. We got the B clear. It wasn't great, like I said. It wasn't nice to look at, but it was a clear nonetheless. So yeah, like I said, I would advise not stressing too much. Some of you guys might get the 12 turn clear if you have the right set of units. In my personal opinion, I think if you're running a team, I would say probably units like a Tarl, Earth Lazar, Bet, Argo Bell, the Argo Vesta Bell that we got in the first part of the anime gotcha set, right? At the end of the season, at the end of the part, I should say, the Fire Single Target Bell, Bet, these units will probably be amazing for you to take into it, because one, no killers will work on Alfia and Zard, but also two, you will be wanting to single target in on Zard or Alfia respectively. So try and figure out some units that you can use. I mean, the game wants you to basically use Otarl and Magicalize, the part 3 Magicalize. The Magicalize will be used on Zard, and then the Otarl will be used on Alfia. That's the idea. That's their main aim. But there are other options, like I said. Otarl can be easily replaced by Lazar. Magicalize can be replaced by some other option, some other magic unit. So it's up to you guys to figure out, if you have any alternatives. Like I said, I wouldn't stress so much. As long as you can get the 100 iris, that's fine. The 5 hero light is nothing, really, to be honest. You can literally farm 5 hero light when the next event comes out for free. Effectively, you don't have to stress too much. So I would say, don't worry, don't stress too much. It is what it is. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. A little bit of a different one. Don't rarely do post commentary. I don't think I've ever done post commentary on any of these videos. So let me know what you guys thought of this video. Maybe I might do more of my S-Clear videos as a post commentary, so that I can give you guys advice and suggestions in a much more clearer mind. Whereas when I'm in game, right, I tend to just forget stuff, because I'm just like, okay, this is the best team I can run, without realizing, oh, I might have some better options, and oh, could be a better option. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, don't worry too much, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.